Hello and welcome to the Rural Library Corners podcast. I'm your host, Maureen Penn, Library Director for Lacombe County Libraries. Rural Library Corner highlights Lacombe County Libraries programs, initiatives, new releases, and features interviews with local community members and groups. Even online, our libraries are your place to be. In this episode, I will highlight some of our programs, interview MJ Siebold from the Lacombe Regional Humane Society, and focus on a few e-resources which people can access from home with their library card. Turning to our services and initiatives, we have some new A to Z e-resources on our website, and the first one I want to highlight is A to Z World Food. A to Z World Food provides access to thousands of global recipes, hundreds of fascinating culture and ingredient articles, and essential culinary resources. I know some of us are getting sick of staying at home and would like to travel. To help you plan your next trip, check out A to Z World Travel. It's a resource that provides access to comprehensive travel resources, and it does contain travel guides. Freeding is one of our local e-resources, and it allows you to download ebooks straight to your PC, ISO, and Android devices. There is no waiting for the books. People can have multiple copies of any of the ebooks that are on this platform checked out at the same time, and it features cookbooks and other resources, including some travel guides. Our musical instrument lending library provides our library members an opportunity to borrow a variety of instruments at no cost. The musical instrument lending library is made possible with funding from the Kimberly Foundation. Instrument lending is now possible via curbside pickup, so call 780-623-7467 to book your pickup time. Turning to some program highlights. Our first virtual Ladies' Night will be held on Friday, February 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. And it is designed for girls and ladies 13 years and older. Topics include mental health, body scrub, yoga, and meditation. Once you're registered, you'll receive the Zoom link and a kit which includes the materials to finger knit a scrunchie. There are two other Ladies' Nights coming up, March 26th and April 30th. You don't want to miss out on those, and registration is open, and topics will be different for all 3 evenings. Registration is required at least 3 days prior to the event, so you can get your kit, and we can get the Zoom link out to you. You can visit our website under Ladies' Night and click on the link found there, or our events listing on a website and Facebook page. Upskills. Do you have all the skills for your job? We are going to be hosting 9 sessions of the Upskills for Work. This helps learners develop key employability skills through free workshops and downloadable workbooks. The 9 topics that we'll be covering include motivation, attitude, accountability, presentation, teamwork, time management, adaptability, stress management, and confidence. The dates are going to be March 12th, 19th, and 26th. Then we'll switch to May 7th, 14th, and 21st, as well as the 28th, and then June 4th and the 11th. They'll be via Zoom. Registration is required so we can get you all the course materials to you, and the time will be 10 a.m. till noon. We know that you love our in-person escape rooms, and we plan to host another one in September. While you wait, you can enjoy our first virtual escape room. You can head on over to our website, go under the Programs Escape Room section, and click on the link. It is short.llbcl.ca/Lydia ER. Also in our podcast notes, you'll find the link as well. Have fun and best of luck. Switching our focus to some new additions to our collection, we're going to focus on children's books first. So we're going to talk about Bedtime for Cranky Crab by Christina Ergenay. Cranky Crab is not ready for bed. The sea creatures around him are drifting off to sleep, but he just wants to eat snacks and play. Maybe what he needs is a bedtime kiss. Follow Cranky Crab as he travels past dolphins, starfish, seals, and more, all snuggling down in their habitats. As night falls, the water darkens and the colors change, lulling Cranky Crab and the reader to sleep. This sweet, rhyming text is brought to life in unique, soft Technicolor, and the dreamy underwater world will soothe even the crankiest little crabs. Focusing on a juvenile chapter book entitled Swimming with Dolphins by Jessie Paddock. When 12-year-old Katie Wynn learns she has to move from Iowa City to Florida, she's distraught. Not only does she have to leave behind her best friends and the only home she's known, she also has to deal with being a new kid in school. She's especially worried about how her wheelchair Sprinkles will affect things. On the bright side, she'll still have her big sister Lucy with her, and she'll even get to see a dolphin, her favorite animal, for the very first time. In fact, KT has always dreamed of swimming with a dolphin, and with the help of her sister, she's determined to make it happen. But when she meets Cola for the first time, he's not what she expected. KT is suddenly afraid, and she's unsure if she can swim with Cola, given her disability. Will KT be able to overcome her fear and gain the confidence to take the plunge? Turning our focus to a new book by Jason Reynolds. In fact, it's the third book in the Tracks series, entitled Sunny. Sunny is just that, Sunny. Always ready with a goofy smile and something nice to say. Sunny is the chillest dude on the Defenders team. But life hasn't always been sunbeamy bright. You see, Sunny is a murderer. Or, at least he thinks of himself that way. His mother died giving birth to him. Based on how Sunny's dad treats him, ignoring him, making Sunny call him Daryl, never Dad, it's no wonder Sunny thinks he's to blame. It seems the only thing Sunny can do right in his dad's eyes is win first place ribbons running the mile, just like his mom did. But Sunny doesn't like running, never has, so he stops, right in the middle of a race. Coach asks Sunny what he wants to do. Sunny's answer? Dance. Yes, dance. But you also can't be on a track team and dance, can you? The Sign of the Gallows by Susanna Calkins. This is one of the Lucy Campion mystery books. London, 1667. On her way to a new market to peddle her true accounts and strange news, printer's apprentice Lucy Campion quickly regrets her decision to take the northwest road. Dark and desolate, the path leads her to the crossroads and to the old hanging tree. She doesn't believe in ghosts, but she's not sure ghosts don't believe in her. But before she even reaches the crossroads, she's knocked off her feet by two men in a hurry. What are they running from? To her dismay, she soon discovers for herself. There, dangling from the tree, is the body of a man. Did he commit self-murder? Or is there something darker afoot? Turning our focus to a non-fiction book that is in very high demand right now, so if you wish to read it, I encourage you to place a hold immediately. And that is by Matthew McConaughey, and it's entitled Green Lights. The quotes I have are from him directly. I've been in this life for 50 years, trying to work out its riddle for 42. And have been keeping diaries of clues to that riddle for the last 35. Notes about success and failures, joys and sorrows, things that made me marvel, and things that made me laugh out loud. How to be fair, how to have less stress, how to have fun, how to hurt people less, how to get hurt less, how to be a good man, how to have meaning in life, how to be more me. Recently, I woke up with the courage to sit down with those diaries. I found a reliable theme, an approach to living that gave me more satisfaction at the time and still. If you know how and when to deal with life's challenges, how to get relative with the inevitable, you can enjoy a state of success I call catching green lights. It's a love letter to life. It's also a guide to catching more green lights and to realizing that the yellows and reds eventually turn green. So welcome to MJ Siebold from the Lacombe Regional Humane Society. Thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Thanks so much for your interest in the society and the shelter.
And can you tell me, how did the Lacombe Regional Humane Society come to be?
Sure. So it was established in 2014 and we became a registered charity in 2015. And I spent many, many years working for municipal government in sort of customer service, I guess. And it was always extremely frustrating to know how often I had to turn people away. I couldn't help them with animal concerns. There was the Alberta SPCA at the time, but they're very slow to respond to northern communities. There was nowhere for people to take abandoned or stray animals, or even just to get some good advice on how to care for an animal. You have your veterinary service, but we've had gaps in that as well. And I just think that it's a different service that we perform. So I always felt like if there ever came a day where I was in a position to start an SPCA or a shelter, and Lacombe still didn't have one, that I would actually start one. I have a background in animal health. I'm an animal health technologist. So when we started it, thankfully our residents immediately embraced the society as one that was so badly needed in our region, and we just haven't looked back. It was just, we hit the ground running and went hard.
So what is the mission and vision for the Humane Society in Lacombe?
I think our vision is just to be there to support the community wherever we're needed. Our mission is to enable the provision of humane treatment to the animals that would otherwise be neglected, mistreated, or killed, to relieve the pain and suffering of animals through educational efforts as well as direct intervention. We believe that the neglect of local animals is a regional problem deserving of a regional solution. It's a long one.
Yeah. And where does your funding come from?
The majority of our fundraising the majority of our funding is about 60% fundraising efforts, 25% from our dog shelter contract with the county. So we actually provide the housing for stray dogs that the animal control officers pick up, and we have a contract for that. And about 20% is our adoption fees and miscellaneous fees.
And what specifically is your role in this organization?
So I'm actually the founder of the organization, and I've been the chairperson since its commencement. As per our bylaws, this will be my final term for the time being, at least, as chairperson. I have 2 more years left, and then if there's somebody interested, I will step aside. I'll still be very much involved, but that's my role at this time, is the chairperson.
Now you're saying that in a couple of years you'll have to step down. So this leads me into the next question. How can people get involved?
Which is the reason that we're here, because we love getting people involved. There's so many ways actually that you can get involved. You can be a volunteer for our events and fundraisers. You can volunteer to help us in the shelter by being a volunteer dog walker or a cat snuggler, or you can foster for us. You can donate. You can support our fundraisers. We have a number of them, such as our online auction. We just did a raffle. COVID's been a little challenging, so we've actually lost a lot of fundraising opportunities, like all organizations these days. I think I did a recent analysis of that, and it was about $18,000 in fundraisers that we've had to cancel so far as a result of COVID. We have very active social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and there's lots of ways that you can get involved, and a lot of good information on our website as well.
And what is the process for fostering and adopting pets through the Humane Society?
So we've tried to design it so that you can easily apply. Everything is online, applications to foster or to adopt. We have a review panel that actually will review looking for certain things. Oftentimes we'll ask for clarification in either process, whether it's fostering or adopting, just to make sure that we're placing our rescues in a suitable home, or that it's a good match, because sometimes somebody may have an idea in their head of what it might be like to foster, say, St. Bernard, and the reality of bringing that dog home is quite different. So we often will ask for some clarification, but basically you can apply online. All of our adoptables are online. Fostering, we actually have a questionnaire for fosters to fill out to help us sort of build profiles for our rescues. All of the supplies for fostering, all the medical care we provide, and the support if there's challenges. So it's a pretty comprehensive and straightforward process, and we welcome any questions from anyone who might be interested in either.
Now I'm going to throw a question that's not on the list.
Okay.
What is the most unusual pet that's come through your doors?
Well, during the fire, when we supported the evacuees, we actually had some chickens. So that was interesting because we had no experience with chickens as far as pets. We're very much an agricultural based community here. And so that's where the chickens generally are, is in the farmyard. Recently, we had a bunny. We've had a couple of horses that we've rescued. And actually we had a couple of ferrets a couple of months ago, which we had never had before. So they were quite interesting because most people around here don't have a lot of experience with ferrets, and they were quite the little characters. They got adopted really quickly, but I think they would probably have been the most interesting.
So where exactly are you located?
Our address is 38 Nipawin Road, so it's actually just 2 doors south of the Lacombe Veterinary Clinic. Really easy to find, lots of parking, and we welcome visitors. Right now during COVID, we're operating by appointment only, so it's a little bit more challenging to support those just drop-in visits. Normally we have an open door policy though, where people can just pop in and just snuggle or sign up for a shift in the evening. So it's great. It's a nice, accessible location.
And how can people contact the Humane Society?
We're pretty accessible via social media. So Facebook is definitely very active, and messaging there we respond to quite quickly. Email is llbrhs@gmail.com. Or you can phone us at 780-520-PAWS, which is 7297.
Well, thank you very much. Was there anything else you wish to add in closing?
I think maybe a little bit about the challenges that COVID has presented, just because that's definitely foremost in people's minds these days. And it definitely has been a huge challenge for everyone. As I said earlier, we're operating by appointment only, but we do welcome volunteers with open arms as we are able. They really make all the difference to our rescues. Our snugglers and dog walkers are often the difference between a well-socialized, very adoptable rescue versus an animal overlooked by potential adopters because they just shut down anytime anybody new comes in. So it really, really is key. We feature some of our rescues in a pet store in Edmonton, PetSmart, and Pet Value up in Fort McMurray. And they've commented often when they first started dealing with us, they thought that the logistics of dealing with a small town with the transportation challenges and whatnot wasn't going to be worth it. And especially with our Pet Value in Fort McMurray, they cannot comment enough on how friendly and well-adjusted our rescues are. So that makes our hearts happy because we know it's our volunteers that make the difference. So that's really, really key. We have a volunteer Facebook page, and we invite people to just follow that. It's a closed page, so you have to actually ask to join it, but it actually is where we will post things that are happening right in the shelter specific to animals that are being sheltered versus, say, animals in foster care, and some of the challenges that we're facing. Or if we have a fundraiser coming up, we'll post there, say if with the ice races, for example, that's where we would go. We would post our schedule there and say, can you take one of these shifts? And it's been a really effective way to communicate with our volunteers. So if anybody out there is thinking about how can I get involved, that might be sort of one of those quiet ways to sort of observe what we do and some of the ways that people can get involved. So that's just, if you just search LLBRHS volunteer page, I believe is what it's called, and ask to join, we'd welcome that as well.
Perfect. Well, I do thank you very much. Time is definitely precious these days, and that gives a outlet for people to connect with new people and maybe snuggle up with a furry companion for a little bit by volunteering with the Humane Society here in Lacombe.
For sure. Or even if someone wants to come and go for a jog with a dog, you know, pull them up and go out to the dog park or go along the trails. And our dogs are pretty high energy when they come to us because they're not used to being cooped up. So it's a fantastic way for somebody to do some good, make a difference in an animal's life, and have some fun too.
Get in those steps.
Exactly.
I'm glad you could join me today. If you wish to review the notes for today's podcast or get more information about Lacombe County Libraries, head on over to our website, llbcl.ca. In our next episode, I will highlight some of our programs and services, interview a community member, and focus on another couple of e-resources which people can access from the comfort of their own home with their valid library card. We encourage you to subscribe and share our monthly podcast with others. So until next time, I'm Maureen Penn for Lacombe County Libraries. Our libraries, your place to be.